Good morning. For more than 2 decades, the Met Center has been providing education, training, employment, and supportive services to unemployed and underemployed in the St. Louis region. As the economy recovers from COVID-19, we're looking at ways to enhance the resources we have to create a more vibrant workforce and attract more companies, industries, and investors to St. Louis County. One of our goals is to transform the Met Center, officially known as the Metropolitan Education and Training Center, into a leading workforce development site for Missouri. We plan to make the Met Center an anchor in innovation for launching new companies and small businesses that can take root right here in St. Louis County. Working with partners, we can leverage existing resources and meet our goal of making our region one of the best trained workforces anywhere. The Met Center has already developed strong partnerships that provide diverse training opportunities. St. Louis Community College operates a diesel mechanic program here. The Special School District runs a licensed practical nurse program. And a lab tech training program that companies like Pfizer and plant researcher KWS helped design is based here. GED classes are also offered here. With all the good going on, and there's a lot of it, we know we can do even better. There's room for growth here at the Met Center, and we're committed to making that happen. The Met Center is owned by a division of the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership and is managed by Family and Workforce Center of America, a local nonprofit. This former Wagner Electric factory near a Metrolink stop and a child care facility is an anchor in this community, which is one of the poorest communities in the region. But like a lot of old buildings, it needs some TLC to reach its full potential for today and the future. About 2/3 of the facility is currently leased, and there are some pressing capital needs that, when addressed, will allow more of the space to be used, including the unfinished 6th floor. Those needs include an elevator, replacement of the heating and cooling system, and an update to the plumbing system. As I mentioned last week, St. Louis County has $83 million in unallocated federal relief funds, commonly referred to as ARPA. My office provided to the County Council recommendations on how to spend these funds based on input from residents at 7 town halls and through a community needs survey. In my office's plan to the Council, we proposed $24.2 million to be dedicated for projects using state matching grants, and that includes programming and capital needs here at the Met Center, the creation of a business and workforce district on the south campus of the University of Missouri in St. Louis, demolition of the Jamestown Mall, development of the R&R Marketplace in Delwood, and expansion plans for Family Forward, a nonprofit focused on childhood trauma. With state and local ARPA funds, we can provide significant support for these projects, making this center a model for what is possible in workforce development and showcasing what happens when partners come together to support similar missions. Joining me here today is Carolyn Seward, CEO of Family and Workforce Centers of America, which coordinates much of the programming at the Met Center. I've asked her to talk about some of the current programs offered here and the possibilities of the center with additional financial support. Carolyn?
Good morning, Dr. Page, and thank you very much, and welcome to the Met Center. The Met Center is a strategic partnership with 2 multi-jurisdictional education institutions, a financial institution, the St. Louis Community Credit Union, a public entity, a state agency providing public benefits for cash assistance, food stamps, child care. So the skill-based training programs that we have include a number of the programs that Dr. Page mentioned, the diesel mechanic, the process lab technician, and the LPN program. But we also offer soft skill training. In addition, we integrate mental health and wellness, legal services, and financial education into the workforce development programs. The goal is to move youth and families from economic scarcity to stability to security. And the partners that we have in this facility is absolutely committed to doing just that. An example of collaborative partnerships is the wet lab that we're in this morning. This was a partnership with St. Louis County, the partnership, as well as other employers like Pfizer, KWS was mentioned, Mallinckrodt, who reviews our curriculum. They come in and talk to the students, and they provide internships and jobs at the end of the day. They have been working with us for a number of years. What we can do with the additional funding is increase the 2,000 people that were employed through our training programs last year in 2021 to almost double those numbers if the funding is available. And the expansion of the programs that we have already existing in the top 5 industries in our region. So with the strategic partnership between the partnership, the county, and workforce development under the leadership of the partnership, Rodney Krim, the Division of Workforce Development, Greg Laposa, and Howard Hayes, we are able to achieve many, many things in terms of helping our youth and our families. Dr. Page, thank you so much for the opportunity to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn. I'd like to ask Greg Laposa, the Director of Workforce Development for St. Louis County, to come forward and talk about his office's relationship to the Met Center. Greg?
Good morning. As County Executive noted, I'm Greg Laposa. I'm the Division Director of Workforce Development, reporting to Howard Hayes in the Department of Human Services. In the Department of Human Services, we're really focused on improving the quality of life for St. Louis County residents, and the Met Center is one of the most critical assets we have to do that. Met Center supports not only workforce development, but as Ms. Seward just noted, supports the family and supports individuals being able to achieve economic stability and upward economic mobility, which is so critical. One thing that I think is important about the Met Center in the leadership of Ms. Seward and FWCA is the emphasis on the family, is the emphasis on intergenerational upward economic mobility. So this is a critical resource for the community. What's great about the Met Center as well is that it offers not only access to career and employment services. You can come into the Met Center, you can get coaching, you can get access to information that helps you on your career journey, but this is also a space where real training happens here. We're preparing the future workforce at this location and connecting them to good quality job opportunities. Ms. Seward noted some of the programs. It was refreshing today to walk in and see all the LPN students coming in to take their tests today, knowing that, again, this is part of a future workforce that we need, especially as our region recovers economically from the impact of the pandemic. We have a strong foundation with what the Met Center is already, what it's been and what FWCA, Ms. Seward, and the partners that are co-located here have built. But as County Executive Page noted, this is about a transformation plan too. The vision for what the Met Center will be is a space where entrepreneurs can grow their own business. It's a space where employers across key industries that give our region a competitive edge will be able to find the talent that they need. We work closely with partners in the nonprofit community as well as the St. Louis Economic Development Partnership, Greater St. Louis Inc. with its 2030 jobs plan to make sure that the programming that's in this building, operated out of this center, is aligned to, again, what will make St. Louis a strong competitor. So I'll just close by saying that this Met Center is both a resource to the local community in the Wellston neighborhood, but it's also a critical regional asset, and happy today to see conversation around investing more into this center so that we can make sure that it is one of the core Missouri job centers that give our region a competitive edge.
Thank you, Greg. This is a pivotal moment for St. Louis County, an opportunity to elevate the work that we do so that when employers come knocking, we'll have job-ready workers ready to walk through the door. Thank you, and I'd be glad to answer any questions.
How much money are you currently proposing for the Met Center as it is now, and how much would come from state match grants?
Well, we'll see what comes through the budget. We're allocating or asking for $5 million from our county ARPA funds, we hope to have at least that much match from the state.
5 million in ARPA and a 5 million match, you said, Dr. Page?
That's right.
Either for you or for Carolyn, either one, how big do you think this could be to try and better train workers with more money invested in the facility? Perhaps you could answer, and then Carolyn as well. What's the vision here of what this could really become? 'Cause it's been there for a while.
Well, we know the #1 challenge in our community is matching well-trained workers with the right job to allow our businesses to grow. I hear this all the time from our large employers and small businesses too. They can't find enough employees. The economy is booming, and the greatest need we have in the community is matching a well-trained, skilled person with the right job in the community. And you know, we've had a lot of communities that have been left behind. We have a history of economic and racial segregation in our community that's left some of our neighborhoods behind, and it's our responsibility to try and match folks with jobs. And so we have people who want and need training, and we have a lot of jobs in the community. This Met Center is really a crucial part in making that match. Carolyn, you want to?
Yes, and I think the other thing, in addition to workforce development, I believe strongly in our partners that we cannot forget to assess and evaluate the entire family. What is the impact on our children and the adults that are coming through the doors each and every day? And we are one of the first centers in the region from a workforce perspective to do assessments on the entire family and looking at the impact of what solid jobs, good jobs will do in helping to stabilize individuals and families in our region. So we are excited about the opportunity to integrate all of those social services, the mental health, the trauma-informed workshops, the legal services, to get people ready to go to work so that employers don't have to worry about those things.
So you've been at it for a while, big picture here, is this something that you think could really be pivotal in trying to get people more job ready and try and increase their
Absolutely,
mobility?
absolutely. We are a premier workforce center in the nation. People from all over the country come and look at how we do what we do. So this is another opportunity for us to now truly focus on our families in the region, not just with workforce, but integrating those social service needs into workforce development. And I do believe that that is the wave of the future, because we cannot silo those training programs any longer.
Carolyn, what would this $10 million do for the facility?
The $10 million we would be able to expand the existing programs to allow more students to come into those skill-based programs that are in the top 5 industries in our region. We will also be able to really focus in on the mental health and wellness, of which our data is showing that 60 to 70% of the individuals coming through the doors, and not just our doors, but other doors, have some type of mental, behavioral type of issue that the Department of Labor was able to approve for us to integrate that into our programs. So we believe that we are cutting edge on not only the skill-based programs that we're delivering, but the social services that would be needed.
Thanks. Any other questions?
Dr. Page, we have a couple of questions. Nassim, were you on? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, with the $5 million that's available in ARPA, would that go toward the infrastructure needs first, or would that also help fund some of the expansion of the services, assuming that the county may not get the state match grant?
Well, if we are short on our budget, then you know, we'll make a decision. Well, probably what we'll do is just look for other resources to make sure we can do everything we want to do. Look for other grants. There's a lot of federal funds out there, so if we fall short, you know, our folks are pretty you know, pretty astute, and they know how to look for grants. I would imagine it would delay some of our programming, but we'll get there. We're really committed to expanding our workforce development footprint in St. Louis County. It's really, you know, matching people with a job and getting well-trained workers to employers in town is really one of our top priorities in St. Louis County.
Dr. Page, I have a couple of questions about Jamestown Mall.
Oh yeah.
What are the next steps now that the council has approved that $6 million?
Yeah, so The next step for Jamestown Mall is to continue the process that we've started. The remediation is underway, remediation of hazardous waste, and that'll take several months. Once that remediation is done, then we will issue an RFP for demolition. And we'll see where the bids come back on with the RFP. We're glad to have money set aside from the ARPA funds, so we know at least one source of the funds. We will see what we get from the state. We hope we get the remainder of the funds from the state. If not, we'll continue to look at other state programs and other resources. But our administration in St. Louis County, and I know the County Council, is deeply committed to the demolition of Jamestown Mall so we can get it development ready.
On that same topic, it's been such an eyesore for such a long time. How important would demolishing it be to bring people in? I mean, is that like a key selling point that, hey, you don't have to demolish
Right.
if you come in?
Well, the question is about demolition. It's unusual to start a problem property with demolition first. Usually a large commercial property like this, we would have a redevelopment plan before we would do remediation and demolition, but this has been such a challenge that my administration wanted to get it done. I know the Councilwoman Shalonda Webb from that district wants to get it done. So we've done something unusual here as to proceed with remediation and demolition before we have a development plan identified. We think that removing that element of risk from the redevelopment of that site will bring us more interested parties and will bring us a better product. The challenge with any redevelopment is the risk of remediation and demolition, and we're going to try and remove that variable.
The Port Authority has estimated up to $10 million in cost to demolish and completely clear the site. Is that an accurate assessment? I guess, could you give us a breakdown of what that work will involve?
Well, your question is the estimate accurate? And we don't know. I mean, we think it is, but we know that construction and demolition costs will fluctuate over the next year. They'll go up and they'll come down depending on supply chain issues. We believe that's a good number to work with. If we fall short, we will find other resources to get this done because we're committed to it.
Dr. Page, we have one more question regarding your remarks. You mentioned the expansion at the Huntsville campus.
Right.
How confident are you on state support for that project?
So the question is about the South Campus at the University of Missouri St. Louis and the proposal for a business and workforce development park. My administration is very excited about that. We think it's a good project and a worthy project, worthy of county support for sure. The state has identified $40 million for that project, and we're pretty confident that that's going to make it through the legislative process. It has broad support, and this project has support in St. Louis County as well, and we know that there's a lot of support for this project in the community. We've already heard from a lot of people.
Anybody else?
For funding for the Med Center, what conversations have you had with the council about this request?
Yeah, we've been talking about it for a long time, for a couple of years. And I think there's broad support for it. The council has some tough decisions to make. There are a lot of priorities in the community. There's a lot of people who have a lot of needs, and we don't have enough resources for all the needs. But I think everyone shares our commitment to finding jobs for folks who want jobs and helping our businesses grow by matching them with well-trained workers.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.